A look back to the winter season 2024. Bodysuits, weddings, level ups, cooking, petting, and the one and only slavery. A new season always introduces a new niche that we never knew we needed. Not a flawless season, but enjoyable nonetheless. So, everybody has thought of their ideal isekai life at some point in time. Mine is a back and forth travel system from their world to an isekai. Just imagine all the blood, sweat, and tears you pour out in the fantasy world while being an overlord in our world. At a glance, Sasaki and Peace was that, an ordinary salaryman who found the great sage meshing both business and fantasy into his daily life. The 40-minute first episode literally gave me life. It was engaging and left me craving for more, but after a few episodes, it just fumbled the bag. Deep in animation, introduction of cliché characters, and the MC with no conflict or character growth. I still find it entertaining, but not on the pedestal when I once put it on. Another disappointment for me was Solo Leveling. For people who have read the manhwa, we did not read it for the plot. We read it for its illustrations. I have always fawned over on each page of the manhwa. Just look at this. Now tell me with a straight face that the anime we have right now will do it justice. It gets a pass for now, but I don't have any faith in it for the upcoming seasons, especially with the track record of manhwa's adaptations. I would rather read it than watch it. It doesn't have mind-breaking storylines, but is still entertaining to the eye. So what's a new season without cliché harems? Hokkaido girls and tales of wedding rings fall right into the recycling of the old system. For the culture, yes, but as a story, a hard no. Now let's move on to the meat and potatoes of this season, starting with Metallic Rouge. Not gonna lie, I started it simply because it reminded me of one of my favorite anime ever, Axel World. The design similarity is actually uncanny. I watched it, and I am glad to say that it was a worthwhile watch. I can't even remember the last good battle mecha. It has a realistic take on the ever-growing AI's coexistence with society. Some episodes do get info heavy, but the thrilling fights make up for it, although I'm still waiting for that hook that will get me invested. Shifting the tone from futuristic to fantasy is Dungeon Meshi. I have to say, the fantasy community has been fed the past couple of years with animes like Frieren and Osama ranking. Ironic that feeding comes up because Delicious in Dungeon is all about that. We follow our party going through the dungeon full of danger. Our gang plans to save Laos's sister before she is digested by the Red Dragon. Thus begins the thrilling adventure of our party defeating different monsters till they reach the dragon, or that should have been the case, but this plot is actually treated as a side quest. It is mainly focused on cooking. With the main ingredients being the monsters, we learn about different ways to cook beasts only found in this world. Is it a bunch of useless information? Yes. Am I having fun watching it? Definitely. One of my biggest pet peeves about fantasy is not diving deeper into its ecosystem. How do the monsters survive with each other coexistence? What are the good, the bad, and the ugly relationships of every race? Questions like these never get answered, but that is not the case with Dungeon Meshi. I especially love the Living Armor episode because it showed the symbiotic relationships in such a creative way. Eating a basilic's egg is rare enough itself, let alone using golems as a garden. I also love how they manipulate the dungeon to their advantage. I cannot recommend enough people to watch this awesomely built fantasy world. Now to the final one. Every season always has an outlier, an anime majority of people would view as the best of the season. You know, the JJKs and the Demon Slayer of the anime verse. So to see a romance anime being this season's best is a very fresh look. Ichikawa desires to see the popular girl of the class wither in pain. Why do you ask? It's just plain old jealousy. Most teenagers go through similar phases where they hold antagonistic thoughts about someone. Their vision gets clouded, shaping the person into those thoughts. Nobody is born perfect. Perfection is earned. You work to be in shape. You get opportunities through consistency and practice. Slowly, Ichikawa realizes the effort put into what he once called inherent. That transition from a Chunibyo to an upstanding individual is so well done here. Not only that, but we also finally have a main character that is not a cockblock to himself. I love Fruits Basket and Kimi no Todoke, but I have felt frustration in those animes. Those annoyances are non existent here. Every event is done in a timely fashion. The season finale was not shy of being perfect. It was thrilling, exciting, and enjoyable. Any romance author should take notes watching this, as this is an example of how you write romance without drama. In the books, this will go as the best of the winter season. However, deep under we know what the best of this season is. Yes, all hail to our master, the culture horniness. Manga is better, but I ain't complaining about this at all. It's like DXT, where the culture is required to further the plot. I especially love the manga and the direction it's headed to as of right now. This was my look back on this season. Thanks for watching the video and meet you all next time in the Dungeons of Anime.